All right, welcome to Show on the Go. It's your boy Rawsko Squeezoff with
your man, Rich Blackman.
So today we want to hit you with something a little different. We were thinking about something up the top of the dome. If you had a chance to sit down and have a conversation, a candid conversation with anybody, living or dead, who would it be? So we're going to do our top three. You think about who you would do, but this is who we're going to do. Want me to start first again?
You shoot first.
All right. So my first one would be Malcolm X. Not on the militant thing, but I would love to know his take on today, more so than in the past. Whenever I saw an interview of Malcolm X, he was always well thought out. They never caught him off guard. I don't care if he was on a panel full of quote-unquote racist white people. He had an answer for everything. Like, everything was always well thought out. And I would love to know how he feels about how we are today as a whole society, how we are as black people, how the state of even like black men or black women, and then the state of just people in general. The politics around the world. He always had answers for all these type of things. The wars around the world. He was such a polished thinking and a great communicator. I would just love to have a candid conversation of how he feels. And then also, I would ask him, who killed you? Who killed you? Because if he can come back and tell me, I'd find that out.
That would be a man.
I'm not that motherfucker.
The whole time he was
exactly.
I tried to tell y'all. No, that's a good one. So that's a good one.
Malcolm X would be my number one.
All right, man. My number one.
And let me know if you need me to jump to two first.
Yeah, you gotta jump to two,
So I'll go to two first. My second one would be Barack Obama. Barack Obama is still living, still here. We hear him talk all the time. But the key to this is a candid conversation. So I would love to get him to elaborate on how he feels about the state of today with black people, black men, especially. I think a lot from my perspective. So, Grant, if you thought of yours, you think from your perspective, from my perspective, how do you feel as black men? What type of racism do you think you experienced, even though you were the president of the most powerful country in the world, and you had 2 terms and you won, decisively? Did you feel disrespected anyway? When the lady and that politician from Arizona was pointing her finger in your face, how did you truly feel? Did you want to slap her? Did you want to? I doubt if he would say that, but in a candid conversation, would he just say, "Man, I wish I could have," or
I wish Michelle on her ass in a minute. This was back in the day.
Exactly. How do you feel when you meet the other world leaders? Did you ever feel disrespected by other world leaders? And then, I know you do talk generally about Trump now, but candidly, because you're always kind of still political with it, how do you feel? Would you just say, man, this number, or it's not doing as bad as everybody making it out to be? I just love to know how would you really, really break it down in a candid conversation?
So you know what? One of mine is definitely Barack.
Okay.
But it's for a different reason.
Okay.
I think I would want to sit down with Barack and be like, is it really aliens, motherfucker? You know what I mean?
Like, that's a great one.
You know what I'm saying? What did you see? What did you read? What did you see that made your head turn gray in 3 months?
Good question.
That's what I would want to talk to him about.
That might not just be racism.
Did they take the dude down to Area 51?
That's a great question.
And he said, "Oh shit, it's real."
What are some of the hidden things that we don't know?
That's what I want.
If you can get a candid, there are things they always say that they know that we don't know. I don't know if that's true, but he could definitely elaborate if that's true or not.
Yo, I just want to sit down and be like, "Hey, yo,
right,
what up?
Right?
Do I need to figure out how I could get a ticket on Blue? Was it Blue Origin or whatever?
Oh, yeah, right.
Right now, right. So I can."
That's the from Amazon's one, Blue Origin, yeah, right.
So I could be out here because, I need to know. I think that's my thing that I would want to speak to him, of course, about his career, but I would want to know.
And one more thing I'd like to add to him, I would like to know from his point of view, who was your most trusted advisors? Who do you thought had your
easy.
I'm not just saying Michelle, but like, who had your back? who did you really who had your back, and then also who were the fake supporters? Who act like they had your back when you're like, man, they a snake. I would love to know that one too. Because and you don't ever with the politicians, you never know who's what. And you know, they always say they shady. You don't know who's shady, you don't know who's genuine. Is Bernie Sanders genuine? He always comes across as like he's genuine, he really means it. Is he like, man, that man that made a ton of money, man, he ain't about nothing. You know, like, I would love to hear the candid part. Like just a couple drinks in a bar or a restaurant and he just telling you the truth.
You know, I think people are people across the board, right?
Right.
So I think that just because they're politicians and they're rich, they're no different from the people that we may work with in everyday life, right? So it's probably one of those situations where, you know, you like, yeah, nah, yo, Andy cool and all that, but I know when Andy get home,
Right.
he said the N-word all the time.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
who slipped up and said it around you?
Or who didn't slip up and said it around you and didn't care.
Right.
You know, to say, I don't care what position you hold, this is what you still are.
And the last question for him is, are you as squeaky clean as you appear to be? Because you got to be, in my opinion. You did 8 years. They always looking to find dirt. They found no dirt on this man for 8 years as president.
You know, I got a weird imagination. Do you remember that movie, Head of State?
Yeah, Gene Hackman and Will Smith.
No, not that. Maybe it's not Head
No,
of
that's
State.
Enemy of the State. That's Enemy of the State. Head of State was with Chris Rock?
Chris Rock.
Right.
You remember when they were saying, since you're the first black president, we don't want you to get caught up in any scandal. So they hired the white girl. Remember, they said, so we want to contain all of our scandals in-house.
Right.
So if you want to have an affair,
Right.
she's already on
staff,
payroll.
Right. Payroll,
You know what I mean?
Right. I do remember that, yeah.
So, you know, my thing is, it wasn't a lot of that. Was it a lot of people around him to say, I know this outrageous, but I mean, it could be. When you got that kind of power, I feel like they can make anything happen or not happen, and they want to control it, so they keep a lot of things in house.
Even recently, what's that thing that came out last year that he was messing with Jennifer Aniston? Remember that? They were trying to say him and Michelle was about to get a divorce, and he was messing with Jennifer Aniston. Like Jennifer Aniston? I'm not saying nothing wrong with her, but I'm just saying like you would mess with somebody famous if you were going to cheat. Like
she's a hot chick, but
famous?
Yeah,
you think if you're going to cheat in the public eye where you got Secret Service with you all the time,
you kind of would want to though.
Because they got some to lose.
You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to mess with Tamika across town.
That's too easy to get noticed, though.
Listen,
you got a superstar that's been it's been in $1 billion worth of movies and television shows.
You can always spend that. Look, Lewinsky.
She was a nobody. She was an intern that was underneath his desk. Nobody knew.
But she was the first one to what? Girl, guess what I did?
Right. That's true. We all saw she wanted attention. Right. So we got Barack. So we both got Barack. So Barack's is 1.
Yeah.
Barack's my number 2 after Malcolm X. You ready for number 2 yet, or?
Number 2 for me. Believe it or not, and I'm gonna tell you why. Believe it or not, Oprah Winfrey.
Good one.
And I'm gonna tell you why. This sounds weird, and I'm not lying. For me, Oprah holds a special place.
Okay.
For me, I remember I was back and forth between New York and Baltimore.
Right.
When we were younger, my parents always stayed in some stuff. So we would be here and there.
Right.
And I remember I was going to 1 year. This is like maybe 4th grade or 5th grade. I went to Powhatan Elementary.
Right.
And this is when she was a news anchor here in Baltimore.
Right. Baltimore.
And I remember she came to the school.
Oh, for real? Wow.
I remember she came to the school. You know, it's back when they did that. You know, these were local celebrities, so you know they came and encouraged the kids or whatever. I remember I went up to her and she gave me a big hug, and she looked at me and she said, "Listen here, little handsome brown child. You can be whatever you want to be in life.
Wow. Wow.
And that resonated with me because that wasn't the Oprah Winfrey that we all know now, not the yelling
Billionaire.
Oprah. You understand? This was Oprah that you could see down the street coming out of the news thing. You could see in the McDonald's and the Subway and stuff like that.
Right.
And it resonated with me then, but not as much as when I started to see her grow.
Her trajectory, right.
And you always kind of see your peers in a sense.
Right.
People that look like you, people that are from the same neighborhoods, you always hear them say things like that, right?
Right.
But usually when they say things like that, they're already there.
Right. You didn't see the ascend to the top.
Right. So for me, when Oprah gave me that hug, that news anchor on 13, somebody that I could see, somebody that I could touch, somebody I could identify with, being a child, then seeing her and hearing her say that to me and watch her do what she told me I could do.
Right.
Always resonated with me, always stuck with me. And I always wish that even in...
What you asking?
How did you know? How did you know that you really could do everything you wanted to in life?
Right.
How did you know? How did you know? Who told you that? And you took it and you ran with it and made it possible. What was that?
Right.
I would ask her. I would also ask Oprah. I would ask her. Man, there's so many things I would ask her, honestly. But it would be nothing pertaining to the riches. It would be nothing pertaining to the fame. It would be more of a general conversation on life for me.
Got you. Outlook on life.
That's what I would do. I really, she plays a big part to me, and that conversation for me has stuck with me through my whole life because I saw it happen from the ground up with her. So
before she's even a millionaire, before before she had $100,000 to her name.
Right.
You saw, right.
So it made me really understand. They tell you all the time. Your parents tell you, people tell you all the time. You could be president of the United States. You could do this. You could do that. And then you'll see it happen. And then this is what it is.
But it still seemed a little out of reach.
Out of reach, right?
But somebody that actually did it, and is the richest woman in Hollywood,
and most respected. Respected.
They talk about her running for president because they think they're highly of it. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that there's many people I don't think that there's a lot of people that are going to try to treat Oprah like she's a black woman because she's almost reached a whole nother level.
No, she has.
Right?
100%.
100%. Like when she walks in the room,
she's on the OJ thing. I'm not black. I'm OJ. She's not black. She's Oprah.
You understand what I'm saying? You're on a whole nother plane.
Right. 100%. 100%.
And so that's definitely. I'm gonna be honest. It's probably my number one.
Okay, that's not a bad.
That's my number one. Oprah would be my number one, and then I would say, "Do you remember me?" Auntie Oprah.
She's met a lot of people. She has met a lot of people along the way.
You know what I'm saying? But do you remember me?
Kings, queens, and presidents.
And you know what she made? If she say, yes, I do. You had on those brown corduroys that were faded and that little weird checkered shirt. And I always wondered why your mother dressed you like that.
But yeah, that kind of turned into Santa Claus now.
Right. But that'd be my number one. Oprah has always been for me. I always wanted to sit down and speak with her and tell her.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
That stuck with me.
So you got Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
I got Malcolm X. We both got Obama as our number 2 then.
Right.
You got your number 3 already? Where we gonna go for? You got it already?
I got it.
Who you got?
OJ.
You know something? That's a good one.
OJ.
Because you got to ask him if he did it.
I gotta look him in his eye. I need to be a closed room, and I gotta look him in his
Candid,
eye.
did you do it? That's a good one.
I'm not even gonna ask, did you do it? I'm looking him in his eye
How'd
like,
you do it?
nope.
What?
I'm looking him in his eye like, hey, yo. You know what I'm saying? We know what that means.
Listen, I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole. I still, we had this, me and him had this conversation many times before. I don't believe he did it, and if he did, he couldn't have did it alone. There's no way you decapitated two people. Would somebody just sit there and smoke a cigarette while you was getting another one? Like, you know, but
all I need for him to do, if I hit him with the, hey, yo, all I need for him to be like, oh, if he hit me with one of these, you already know what that is.
yeah. Listen, as crazy as it sounds, that's a great one. I would love to know, what were you thinking when you went to Las Vegas, player? You beat the charges. You were good. Why are you out here wearing my memorabilia where you gonna get him?
Charges.
But why would you get set up so stupidly?
Because
Give me my damn Heisman, my cards back.
he's not here no more. I'm not gonna say allegedly. Because he killed a white woman and got away with it in America. You can't get no more cocky than that.
Well, before he even killed anybody, like I said, I ain't black, I'm OJ. He was cocky. All right, so
But yeah.
my third one was a difficult. So I'm gonna cheat just a tad bit. I'm gonna just throw this out there as a pen. It's a pen. So my 3B, my 3A, I'm about to let you know. I'm gonna go into it on that one. My 3B is gonna be real quick. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I just like the way the guy talks. I love all the stuff about the science. I learn things from him, and I think about things from him when I hear him talk that I never even thought about. And I would love to go and just to be able to question him, even though if you go YouTube him enough, you get a lot of stuff that you never thought about.
Mm-hmm.
And when he started talking about it might be a fourth dimension and how it works and how ants are two-dimensional creatures and how they don't, and I'm like, wow, how stuff could pop in and out. I'm like, dang, maybe he had me thinking that maybe it is a fourth dimension out there that we don't even know about or can't even fathom. So
I agree.
I would love to, like pick his brain because he seems very knowledgeable on science. And it's not about just the knowledge, it's that he's a geek. But he's a geek that can communicate well, where some of the geeks is like, you can't understand what they're saying because it's so technical and mumbo jumbo to me. But he can communicate it in such a way that I can receive it.
Yeah.
So, but my number 3A. Now, this is kind of weird, but it was a movie back in the day by Cicely Tyson called, I think, The Life and Times of Jane Pittman. I don't know if you remember that. All right, she played Jane Pittman. It's supposed to be a true story. They interviewed this lady named Jane Pittman, who was like 100 and maybe 12 or 16 or something like that. And when they interviewed her, she went for her whole life as a slave. They interviewed her like in the early 1900s or something like that, and like 1907 or something like that. But she was living through slavery her whole life, and she got freed and all that. And she broke down everything about how the northern officers came through and got rid of the Confederate officers and freedom. And some people weren't free yet, some people were. They still were like kind of living on slave because they became sharecroppers. Like it's actually I think it's a great movie because it's just it like, all right, so we hear about slavery and how it was, but we don't really know because it's just whatever we see on television. We don't get to talk to anybody who was slaves now because there's so many generations removed. Right. I would love to sit down and talk to someone like Jane Pittman who lived through all that, and then so she had about a good 60 years of slavery, and then had another 60 years of almost 60 years of not being a slave, and what it was like after that, where you still had a lot of the slave, and then also like some of her like children and others that got like lynched and things of that nature. Like I would just like to hear from someone's actual perspective, not a movie, not somebody's directorial, this is how I'm going to interpret it, but someone who actually lived it, because it'd definitely be a dead person I talked to. And I'd love for them just to break it down to me. What was it like? What was, when I was a little, they showed as a little kid, and, I think they showed where she had to they lay down on their elbows and knees, and the people put their feet on their back, like use them for like a stool, like a step stool. Like it was all type of crazy stuff. I would just love to really soak it in. What was it like? What were the good times like? Because I know everything can't be all bad because that's what they show you in the movies.
Right.
But there had to have been some good times. What were those like? I would like to know the whole perspective of it. So I didn't mean to ramble on, but
No.
But
That's good. That's good.
that would be my number 3. I would just, if I could, granted she's pet, I'd like to talk to the real Jane Pittman and get that experience of all the way through what it's like, just to kind of really just soak it in and understand what it was really like.
I get that. You know, for me, I think I'm gonna throw a bonus in there for me.
Okay.
And the reason why. I would say the bonus for me would be my grandfather.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because, you know, when you have your grandparents around, I think that we really kind of take them for granted. You know what I mean? They're already older and in your life, and you don't really, you know, sit down and talk to them. But the amount of knowledge and the amount of things that they've gone through.
Right. I understand. 100%.
You know what I mean? And how it,
the world was different.
The world was different, and just, I think that would be a bonus for me.
Right.
I never got the opportunity because when you're young, you're living in now.
Right.
But now that we're older,
right, you can receive it different. 100%.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
Because you see it too.
Right.
100%. You know,
100%.
And it's crazy because I think I told you this story a while ago, and I thought it was, and actually it's funny because we did an experiment the other day, but I'm gonna tell you that after what I'm about to say to you. I was putting a dresser together with my daughter one time. And while we were putting it, she was helping me. She was tapping the little screws on the back of the dresser. You know how it has that little thin thing?
Right.
So I'm tapping and she's helping me tap it. And in the background, Anita Baker's playing.
Right.
And Anita Baker's singing. She's like, operator, get my baby on the line.
Right.
You remember that?
Right.
My daughter says to me, she says, hey, Dad. She probably was about maybe 7, 8.
Right.
Hey, Dad. I said, what's up, baby girl? She said, what's an operator?
Wow.
And I had to stop.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, she has no idea what that is. She's never in life experienced that. And she never will.
People in their 20s have never experienced that. I was explaining that in the barbershop the other day to some guys. People will never don't know what an operator is. You're 100% right.
And it's crazy because
they don't know what a dial tone is.
They don't. Well, I did an experiment last week with one of my kids. And I said, it's funny because now everybody goes to Google.
Right.
I said, before we used to have 411.
Yeah. What's the 411? They have no idea what that means.
Oddly enough, do you know it's still around?
411, it's an app. It's actually an app, and it's also you can Google. You can call. You can't call 411.
You can call.
You cannot call 411.
You can call 411.
You got me wanting to call 411 right now.
Do it right now.
We gonna call 411 right now. Let's see, can we get this on it? Let's see if this will pop up. So hold on. Can you call from a cell phone? You can't call 411 from a cell phone.
We call from a cell phone.
You gotta be kidding me. Hold up. Let's see. Down.
Rawsko's actually, this is wild. Watch this, show.
Using care. Let's see.
Welcome to Directory Assistance. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. For a business or government listing, please press 1 or stay on the line. For a resident...
Now, mind you, that's going to cost Rawsko $188.
I didn't know that even still existed.
Because we never need, we don't need it. We have Google. We have Alexa. We have Siri. We have all of these different things.
McDonald's on Light Street.
Right. Right. So you totally skip it now.
Right.
But it is a service that actually does still exist.
I'm going to show my 17-year-old that.
They have no idea.
I could probably show my 30-year-old, my 20-year-old.
Right. And the crazy part about it was, back in the day when we were younger, it was still a charge. But remember, it was like maybe 10 cents or something like that. It was a charge. It was a charge. I tell you, the reason why I remember all of this about 411, I used to burn my mother's phone. We didn't always have a house phone. We was at house. But when we did, 411 was my Google.
Right.
That was my Google. I always dial 411, and when the bill would come, my mother would get so mad. Oh my gosh, 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents. What are you doing? I'm calling the movies to see what time the movie's playing. I'm calling to see what's the phone number for this. So I'm doing so many different things with this.
Okay, I probably never used it because I didn't use it much. My was cheap, so I wasn't allowed to.
But now it's probably $5. But it still exists. It still exists.
That's
now,
amazing.
operator doesn't exist. If you press 0, it's no longer a service.
Listen, we just talked about that in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Remember this? Operator, who's calling? Yo, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Yo, it's me.
Yep.